Hey, what's going on, y'all? RJ here with CV Tech, and this video here, I'm going to be discussing the kind of an update type video on the ZTE Warp Elite. Now, this phone came out around August of 2015, and I purchased it around the end of August, something like that, and I've had it ever since, and been using it on and off, for just using it on and off. And if you have been following my channel for a while, and you have noticed that, you probably have seen some issue videos with the ZTE Warp Elite with battery issues and getting overheated and the phone just not working right and all that stuff. Well, every problem that the ZTE Warp Elite has encountered is took care of. How? I really don't know. I just know that, I've done a few things with the phone, and now the phone works tip-top condition. And actually, I use the phone quite often, more now than I used to, because it just works that good. Now, you may ask, how did you fix your battery issue, or overheating issue, or just the general problems that you had with your Warp Elite? Well, a viewer, I can't remember the name now, it's been a long time ago, advised me about an app called Battery Repair. And so I thought, I'll download it and I'll try it out. So what I done was I gave the phone a full hard factory reset. I've had it for a very long time, and so I just decided wipe it clean, start over, start fresh. Signed in my accounts, downloaded my apps, downloaded the battery repair, and all that stuff. Well, I started using it, and it was getting hot all the time. The battery would not last no time at all. So I done the battery repair, and it showed a bunch of issues with the battery. And whenever I push fix battery, honestly, ever since then, the battery has not gave me one bit of problem. I can give it a full charge. I can get around 23, 24 hours with around close to 5 hours of screen on time. The phone works extremely smooth. I love the way the phone works. It's just buttery smooth. After 2 years of using this phone, it's just, flawless. It was at one point, whenever I would go into the app drawer, that it would not even work. It would just kind of space out, it wouldn't work, but it works flawlessly now. No issues whatsoever. It's just a phenomenal phone. Now, I always said that the Warp 7 was a better phone than the Warp Elite, and in some ways it is, seeing that it does have a removable battery, it does have marshmallow, and it's more rounded, and to some it may be more comfortable. However, I like the ZTE Warp Elite because it's more narrow. And if you got smaller hands, a taller, more narrow phone is more comfortable than a wider phone, because it's not as easy to reach. Now, this phone has been extremely reliable. Like I said, I've had it for over, let's see, it came out in August of 2015, so it'll be, right at 2 years coming up here, in August that I've had this phone. And, it gave me a ton of issues. It overheated all the time. The battery would use like 50% in like 2 or 3 hours of just barely using it. And it's like after the factory reset, downloading that battery repair, it seemed to just really, it fixed the phone. The phone works phenomenal now. And so, is this phone still worth it in 2017? Even though it only runs Android 5.1. It never got, mine never got 5.1.1. It never got 6.0.1 or 6.0 or 6.0.1 marshmallow. But the phone works very well. You can move apps to the SD card. The only bad thing that I see about it is the fact that the battery cannot be replaced, and I like to be able to have a phone where you can replace the battery. So really, I mean, is the phone, would I still recommend it for 2017? Absolutely. And I'm being honest when I say this, would I recommend this over the Warp 7? I can say yes, in a way, unless you want marshmallow, unless you want a removable battery. Basically, it's the same phone, and to run down a few specs, they're basically the same. This guy's got a 1.2 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 410, 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of onboard storage, Android Lollipop, 2000 milliamp hour battery, 13 megapixel camera on the rear, 5 in the front, full 1080p recording. The buttons down here are the same. The button placements are close to the same. Both of them are 720p displays. Both of them are 5.5. But the display on the Warp Elite, in my opinion, is a bit clearer and a bit sharper. That's just my personal opinion. So really, other than just a slightly bigger battery in the Warp 7, the fact that it can be removed and the fact that it runs Marshmallow is really the only difference. Now, I know it's very hard to find the Warp Elite anywhere anymore. You can find them on eBay, Amazon, places like that. But on it, and another major plus with the Warp Elite is that the antennas, the reception, connectivity is much better than the Warp 7. And I think that a lot of people will agree with me with that has the Warp 7 or has had the Warp 7, that the Warp 7 just had a very weak anemic antenna, and reception was terrible. Connectivity was bad. Now, if you're always in a good coverage area, you're not going to see a difference. But in my area, where my area is kind of bad, I can hold a phone call. I always have service on this phone. I frequently lost reception on the Warp 7. Could not hold a phone call for nothing on the Warp 7. The Warp 7 is a great phone. I love the design, and I just love the way the phone works. But as far as performance, and as far as what this phone's been through in the past almost 2 years, I would say the ZTE Warp Elite is a definite recommend still if you're looking for a good phone. Now, it's just a quick update. I know it's 7 minutes. I want to keep it under 10 minutes. But like I say, after downloading battery repair, giving it a full factory hard reset, I was getting, like I said, 3 to 4 hours of battery under moderate use, and maybe 2 hours of screen on time. I mean, it was bad. And the phone back here would get so hot you couldn't hardly touch the phone. But after just doing those few little minor things, my last battery test was around 24 hours on a battery life, with around 4.5 to 5 hours of screen on time. And I still had about 10-12% battery life left. So it fixed all the issues. The phone is still in top-notch condition, just like the day it was bought. And the cameras work phenomenally well, and no issues whatsoever. So if you're still out there pondering about the ZTE Warp Elite, I would say it's a definite get. I have no reason to knock it down at all, because like I said, I had issues with it for a while, but they all fixed themselves. So yeah, it's an older phone, but I can still say, yeah, recommend it. It's a good phone. So anyway, keep it under 10 minutes. This was informative anyway. Just a video here that I wanted to throw up, I wanted to throw out at y'all in case y'all were still looking for the Warp Elite or the Warp 7. This is a great phone. I still recommend it. Any questions or comments, leave it down below in the comment section below. Hit that thumbs up button if it was informative in any way. You ain't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all in the next video.